Here we go. Okay guys, find a space. And we're going to come down onto the floor, on our backs, with our arms outstretched and our feet up off the floor with our knees over our hips. And all we're going to do from that position to start today is keep our feet and knees together and just roll out side to side. We're on 10 in total, so 5 each way. Take your time, no rush. Excellent. Once we've done 10, we're going to roll right over into a press-up position. And up into that press-up position, we're going to bring one foot up towards the same hand. Now, if our hips are tight, that foot's going to be relatively low. If I've got some decent hip mobility, it's going to come up level with the handle relatively close to it. Staying in that position, that back leg, we want to make sure it stays out straight. Then the hand that's nearest the foot, we're going to reach underneath the body, and then we're going to turn, open the chest in towards that front knee, and we're going to do 5 big rotations. Reaching right through under as far as we can, turn the body towards the arm. Excellent. From there, step back and change sides. Same deal, foot up near the hand, making sure that back leg is straight. Hand that's nearest the foot, reach through and under the body, and then turn open towards the ceiling. Remember, we're turning the torso, that's the most important bit. Turn the torso towards the supporting arm, and then towards the front knee. Once we've got 5 on each side, return back to the press-up position, and then come down to all fours. Good. In the all four position now, we're going to do what's called a controlled articular rotation for the head. Okay, so I'm in my all four position, hands under the shoulders, knees underneath my feet, underneath my hips. Monday morning. Back nice and flat. All I want you to do is just lift one knee off the floor. You're keeping the knee bent, push the foot towards the ceiling so that you can contract the glute on that side. From that position, you're going to point your knee outwards without opening your hips and pelvis. Once I get out there, I'm going to bring that knee up, keeping the foot away from the floor, up towards my elbow and underneath my chest. And then I'm going to repeat. Notice how slow I'm going. I want a good glute contraction there without arching through my back. And then I want to turn that knee out without turning my pelvis or opening my lower back. I'm keeping that knee high and bring it around through and underneath without losing any body shape. One more time. Good, and then we're going to reverse it. So from that position, I now bring the knee up towards my chest without rounding through my lower back. Then I take the knee high to the outside. Then I come back to around about knee height, rotate my foot to the ceiling and bring it back through and underneath. Taking your time, all the time, making sure that your body shape stays nice and consistent. Okay, so we want to see no opening or rotating. Once you've done 3 in both directions, we'll repeat that on the other side. So I'm going to start by bringing that foot high towards the ceiling again without getting too much movement through my back and hips, back and pelvis. Rotate the knee out to the side, keeping it nice and high. Bring it up towards my armpit, around under my chest, and then I go again. Now I don't want to rush this, drawing that circle with my knee. I want a slow, smooth, as big a circle as you can manage without getting all of this additional body English and body movement. Okay? Good, so I've done 3 in one direction. I'll do 3 in the other. So front on, I'm going to bring that knee up towards my chest. And I'm going to take it high to the outside. I'm going to push it backwards and then rotate that foot high towards the ceiling. And I come down underneath, take it high and wide, push it back rotate it high to the ceiling. One more time, guys, nice and slow and controlled. Good, once you're done, come up onto your feet. And we're just going to get a little bit of sideways movement now because we've got a Cossack squat in the program today. Okay, so assume a nice wide stance. Toes can face straight forwards or they can angle out just a tiny bit to like 10 to 11 and 1 on the clock. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to drift into a squat on one leg, using the opposite hand to reach towards the knee for 2 reps, then to the middle of the shin for 2 reps or just below the knee, then heading down towards the ankle for 2 reps, and then aiming for just outside the foot if you can for 2 reps, or as low as you can go for 2 reps. Good. Same on the other side. Squatting over, reaching towards the knee. 2 reps. Below the knee or mid-shin. Down towards the ankle for 2 reps. So I'm rotating my torso as well now, feeling the stretch through the inside, and then out into a deeper squat and reaching for the outside. Awesome, good stuff, guys. Come up to standing, and that's our warm-up completed. Okay, so we've got all of the work we're going to do today is going to be on the minute. Okay, so you've got a minute to get the set done and get some rest. Only 10 reps per exercise, so we don't need to rush through. If we're working 1 second down, 1 second up, the setup takes about 20 seconds. If you're going slightly slower, it'll take slightly longer. We want to set to last about 30 seconds-ish. Okay, so just bear that in mind with the tempo. We're starting with a goblet squat. Okay, so we're going to hold the weight, the kettlebell or the dumbbell, up and in front. You're going to assume your squat position, and we're going to get 10 reps. We're going to follow that up with a rear foot elevated split squat, which is where you're going to need to use the sofa. I've got a bench as well. I'm going to bring the bench out in due course later on. And we're going to do all of our sets on the left leg, then all of our sets on the right leg, or right and left. All right. We're going to start in 10 seconds with our goblet squat. Making sure that you get your feet where you want to. I like it at the shoulder, just in the inside of the foot with my toes turned out slightly. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Bring that weight up and we squat. Now remember, your squat is to a depth that's comfortable for you. Okay, we don't want to see the lower back rounding. Keeping the weight even through your feet. Back stays flat all the time. Once I finish my 10, I safely lower that weight to the floor. That's one done. So remember, the depth in the squat will be governed by your mobility, all right? And you might get a bit further with every set that we do. 15 seconds and we're going for set number 2. 10 seconds. So think about your positioning, think about where your toes are pointing and where your knees are going to go. 3, 2, 1, weight up, and we squat. So you notice that my knees are traveling where my toes are pointing. I'm not sitting over on one side, I'm not letting my knees collapse. My heels don't come off the floor, my toes don't come off the floor. I'm not bouncing through the movement, I'm taking my time. 2 sets done. Well, we've got about 30 seconds of recovery there. Two more sets, and we'll throw a little rest in between so we can get set up for the rear foot elevated split squat. 15 seconds. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, away we go. So remember, your squat depth will be dependent on how low you can go and keeping that back nice and flat, okay? You notice that my toes don't come off the floor, don't lose my balance. I'm keeping the weight in between my feet. I'm trying to get my hips to drop down in between my feet as well. Awesome. And control the weight back to the floor. 3 down, 1 to go. Remember, just taking your time, okay? Good mechanical tension, not bouncing through the movement and losing that sense of tension. All right, 1 more set to go. And we go in 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Away we go. Good balanced position. Keeping my chest up all the time. No bouncing at the bottom. Distinct top and bottom of the movement. Nice. When we're finished, weight down. Lovely. Okie dokie. So for our split squat, we're going to make sure that we go laces down, okay? So if you're using a hard chair or a wooden bench, try and get something soft to put across that edge, okay, if you're barefoot or you're in socks. We're going to make sure that the weight, well, you've got 2 options. If you want to make a bit more work for your glute, whichever leg goes up, you're going to have the weight in that side, okay? So you come down with the weight in the opposite hand to the working leg, all right? If you want to make it a bit more for the adductor and the quad, you'll go with the weight in the same side. From a balance perspective, it's better to have the weight in the opposite hand to the working leg, because then the sling works accordingly through our glute and through the upper body on the opposite side that we're trying to stabilize. We're going to go in 20 seconds. For the purpose of today, I'm going to show you both. All right, so I'm going to alternate between a couple of sets. 10 seconds, guys. So I'm going to go with right leg up and weight in my right hand. 10 reps. 3, 2, 1. Away we go. You'll notice that I'm not too far away from the bench. I've got most of that weight sitting over my front leg, trying to do as little as possible with my non-working leg. I'm not on a tightrope, so my legs aren't directly one in front of the other. I'm not sitting my weight on the back leg. All right, so I'm not on a tightrope. I'm not super wide. I'm probably getting in my squat position and then putting that leg up. You'll notice that my weight will drift across my stance leg. That's natural from a physics perspective. It's got to happen. Okay, we're going same side now, same leg. All 3 sets. Less than 10 seconds. So I'm going to show you with the weight on the other side. All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Away we go. So you'll notice I come all the way up to standing and my weight's over my front leg, so I'm not sitting back. I'm not letting the weight pull me down and over to one side. Good. Once I finish my 10, I'll lower that weight down. Excellent. Catch my breath. I'm going to show you this last set from a head-on position so you can see exactly what we're doing. I'm going to bring my trusty little bench up. I'm going to put a mat, little pillow on there as well to protect my foot. 10 seconds then, guys. Pick my weight up. Get into my stance position. 3, 2, 1. Away we go. So you'll notice from that front arm position that I'm not letting my hips drop out. I'm not letting the weight pull me to one side. Getting that back knee to drop towards the floor with the weight over that front leg with my knee traveling forwards. And making sure I'm squeezing everything and standing tall on the finish. Nice. Good stuff. One more set to go. Wait, didn't I say we're doing 4 sets? So if you want to, you can do switching hands every set to get 2 sets on each side, which is pretty much what I've done. One more set. So now I'm going weight in the same side as the working leg. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Away we go. I keep shoulders level. I'm trying to keep my hips square, but because one leg's in front of the other and one leg's working, that's not always possible. What I don't want to do is let the weight pull me down. I'm not rushing. Got good control. And then when I'm done, I'm done. Rest and relax. We're going to go straight into the other side though. We're not going to rest in between because we go left, right. So between the squat and the split squat, we had extra minute recovery. We're not going to do that today. Okay, so I'm splitting other leg forward now. 10 seconds. So I'm going to pick my weight up. I'm going to get into my position. 3, 2, 1. Away we go. So remember that the step isn't massive. So I want the weight to be over my front leg. And the weight's in the opposite hand to my front leg at the moment. Lovely. Good stuff. 1 set done. That's taken me about 30 seconds. I'm going to go weight in the same hand as the front leg now for this next set, and I'll do front on for set 3 and 4 so you can see them from there. 20 seconds to go. Ten seconds. So let's get into position. 3, 2, 1. Away we go. So you notice my back and knees driving towards the floor. My knee and letting my knee travel forwards. It's good and healthy for the knee. So I'm not keeping my weight sat back. Once I've finished the set, I step off, I lower down. 2 down, halfway through the split squats. I'll do them front on now, so I'll be out here with the weight back in the opposite hand to the front leg. 20 seconds away. Ten seconds to go. Let's find our split, pick the weight up. 3, 2, 1. Straight in we go. Not quite in the right position, just take time to reset. You've got the time. Keeping the toe and the knee over in the same direction. And when we're finished, lower that weight to the floor. Lost my cushion, it was a bit of an uncomfortable set. 1 set to go. Bringing that weight on the same side as the working leg to finish. Just makes it a bit more adductor and groin along with quad. 15 seconds. 10. So I'm going to pick my weight up. Getting ready in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Away we go. Everything stays as square as possible. I'm using all of my foot to push through. I'm not letting weight pull me down all over to the side. Good. And when you're done, you're done. Awesome. Good job. Whew. Okay. Cossack squat next. So with our Cossack squat, we did it in the warm-up. When we go nice and wide, okay? 2 different grip positions. We can either go goblet, and we're going to get all the squats on one side. Okay, you can either keep your feet flat, or you can get a bit of a rotation in and lifting that non-working leg to get a bit more depth. Okay, the other option is to go with the load just on the same side as the working leg. All right, so if you're on a kettlebell, you can do that. It's a little bit tougher with the dumbbell, but it can be done. Okay, if it's a heavyish one, your upper body's going to get a bit of a workout as well. 30 seconds. So I brought my kettlebell out so I can show you both. I'm going to start with the goblet hold. Remember, we're going to do all the sets to one side first. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So a wide stance. And I sit down and I allow my non-working leg to just turn slightly. Keeping all the weight over my working leg if I can. Keeping that non-working leg straight. And taking that rest. So I'm going to show you second set a little bit side on. I'm going to keep it with the goblet, okay? "15 seconds to go. So the step is wider than you think with a Cossack squat, okay? We're 10 seconds away, so I go nice and wide. I've got my toes angled out a little bit like a regular squat. 5 seconds. Bring the weight up into goblet position. 3, 2, 1. So I sit over on that leg, sending my knee in the same direction as the toe. Making sure I stand all the way back up. It's really easy to cut the depth short. So if I sit across onto my non-working leg, I take the load off the leg. We don't want to let the weight pull us down and forward. We send the hips back and send the weight into the foot. Two sets down. So I'll show you what it looks like with the kettlebell now for using the kettlebell. 15 seconds. How are the legs doing, guys? Whew. Glute is definitely starting to feel it now. 10 seconds. So I'm going to go with the weight on the same side, all right? Into my position. 3, 2, 1. Away you go. So this offset load now adds more of a core challenge as well. Pushing the floor away and lower down to the floor safely. That's a heavier load. There is another option you can do with the dumbbell. The kettlebell is not so useful because of the longer handle, but I'll show you it on the dumbbell. It makes it a little bit more like what we just did with the kettlebell there. And you're going to hold it down in a hang position with the opposite hand. 10 seconds. Glutes are definitely feeling it now. Wide stance. So I'm going to go weight in the opposite hand. You can keep it in goblet. You can keep it wherever you've had it. 3, 2, 1. Away we go. So remember, if I got my foot, non-working foot flat to the floor, or I allow that toe to come off the floor, point the toes to the ceiling. So remember, there's lots of different ways I can be holding that load. And once we're done, we're done. Whew. It's relentless this morning, less than 30 seconds and we're starting on the other side. Ten seconds. So I'll start with goblet and I'll talk you through all of those options again on the other side. Wide stance. We start in 3, 2, 1 and bring the weight up. So remember, I'm squatting over. I can either keep my toes flat or I can allow that non-working foot to point the toe up towards the ceiling. And once I'm done, I lower the weight into the floor. So I'll show you this one slightly side on, so you get an idea of where the weight is going. 20 seconds. So remember, controlling the movement, posture shouldn't change greatly. That'll dictate how low you go and where you should be holding the weight. Okay, I'll stay goblet on this one. Assume your position, 3, 2, 1. So the weight comes up, I'm shifting the weight over to my non-working leg, and I'm letting that toe turn and point towards the ceiling. Now, if you don't have that mobility and range, then keep both feet flat to the floor and get used to loading down through that leg. Don't let the weight pull you forward. Keeping the chest up. You don't want to roll too far onto the outside of the foot there, guys, either, okay? Really think about wedging down through the entire foot, but even through the inside edge a little bit more if you need to create that stability. We're 20 seconds away, and we're moving on to set 3. So remember, with the kettlebell, it's going to be up on the same side. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring that weight up. I assume my position. And I'm making sure that I'm balanced throughout, however I'm doing it. Get those 10 reps in and safely lower the weight to the floor. 1 set to go. Hope your legs haven't fallen off just yet. 1 set to go. And we're 15 seconds away. Here we go, 3, 2, 1. So remember, you can have the weight, that dumbbell, in the non-working hand, and you can have it down here. You can bring it up, or you can have it in goblet. Or you can have it on that same side, but up on the shoulder. Good, controlling all the way through. And done. Rest, rest, rest. Once you finish that 10. Beautiful. Well done, guys. 2 exercises to go. And we're keeping them single leg. Okay. So with this next one, we're going to do a single leg squat to the bench or the chair or wherever you've got handy, or the sofa. If you need to prop it up, grab something soft so you can raise that height. Okay? What we're going to do is we're going to assume a split stance. So we're going to have 1 foot out in front, pretty much level with the toe. Weight's going to be in the goblet position. You might not need a weight at all for this one. We're going to sit back down and push to stand. Okay, so side on I'll be here, toe out in front, and then sitting the weight back. This is a really tough exercise, guys, okay? You might not even need the load for it. 25 seconds away, but making sure that if you do have load, making sure that everything stays relatively level. Remember, being on one leg, your weight is going to shift over unless you put more weight on that non-working leg. But we just want it there to stabilize. Okay, here we go. Ready? In 3, 2, 1. Into my split position, and I sit and stand, pushing the floor away. If you don't need the load to get this done, remember, okay, you can be here. If you're not going to use load, you might be able to go completely single leg with this, okay? If you can go completely single leg at this point with weight, well done. Once you've done your 10, you can rest there. Now we're going to keep on going on that side, remember? Catch a little drink, we've got 20 seconds. Ooh, relentless today. We've not done a full straight out leg session before in these classes. So Thursday's going to be all upper body, all right? So beware. Weight up, 5 seconds out. So that split position doesn't want to be too wide. Hip width apart. 3, 2, 1. Away we go. You don't want to be too far away from the bench either. And we don't want to have that foot so far in we can actually push off it. Okay, it's just there to help me stabilize so I don't end up falling to one side. Good. Once you finish that 10, you lower down. Good news is with these last 2 exercises, guys, there's only 3 sets. Okay. I'm going to put my bench side on so you can get a good shot of what this looks like from a side on perspective. One more set to go. 10 seconds. And we're ready in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Away we go. So you'll notice that I'm trying to not let my body dump. I'm sitting up nice and tall, and I'm making sure the load is over my front leg. And I'm standing tall on that side, so you can see my working leg straightens out. I don't sit so far back that my toes come off the floor. I don't want to be rocking and moving backwards and forwards. Whew. One leg done. 25 seconds and we're starting on the other side. I'm going to do this first set face on so you can see what we've got. I'm using the harder chair because it gives me a bit more stability at the bottom than the sofa does. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Weight up. Here we go. Making sure that weight is over my working leg, so I'm not sitting onto my non-working leg. Controlling the breath, bracing on the way in. Finish your 10 and lower. Whew. Good work, guys. Stay with me. Stay with me. 2 more sets to go. 15 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Away we go. So I'm coming down on that one leg. You see that I'm trying to maintain a good squat position throughout, which means that I can't keep my torso upright. Okay, I can't sit vertical, but I definitely don't want to collapse. And we don't want to drop through that final range. Once you finish your 10, lower the weight to the floor. One more to go. I'm sweating now, boys and girls. Here's a towel I prepared earlier. One more. One more set. 10 seconds. So make stairs interesting today. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Last set. Come on then. One more exercise to go after this, guys. Nice and controlled. We don't want too much rock and momentum. So what I mean by that is I'm sitting in and then driving out. Core tight all the time. That helps me maintain my posture. Once you finish your 10, lower to the ground. Nice. One exercise to go then. One more to go. All right, to finish off, we've got a little bit of hamstring. We've done these before. We've got a split stance RDL, okay? So the split stance, it's very similar to what we've just done, where I'm sending one foot out in front, keeping my knees level, but having my front heel level with my front toe. With my back toe, sorry. Weight then in the opposite hand to my front leg. And then the movement with soft knees is my hips trail backwards, but I keep the weight on my back leg. Okay, so this is my back leg. The weight stays over. Sorry, what am I talking about? The weight stays over your front leg. Dear me. Okay, so in this position with the weight in the opposite hand, I hinge over and keep my weight on my front leg. Front leg, not back leg. Never on the back leg. Monday morning, guys. Apologies. All right, we have 10 seconds away. Remember, the back stays flat. You only need to go as far as you need to get length in the hamstring. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. So I assume my split stance. I've got a slight bend in that front knee, and I lower the weight down, keeping my back flat. Now, if your hamstrings are tight, that's going to stop around about knee height, perhaps. You've got you've got more length and strength in your hamstring, you go a bit further. We never want the weight coming onto that back leg. Keep it over the front. Keep the shoulders nice and square. Nice control on the way down with a good squeeze of the hips and glutes on the way up. Stand tall. Keep the chest up. And we're looking about 2 meters in front. Once I finish, I can lower down. 2 more sets on that side. I'm going to show you from the other side, working the same leg so you can see my back position and what goes on with my glutes. So if your left leg is forward, right toes are level with that, knees are level, so you shouldn't see my right knee when I hinge. Okay? 3, 2, 1. I've got that weight up, and then from here, I hinge. You can keep the back foot flat if you want to, as long as the weight stays over the front leg. If you want a little bit more of a challenge, just come up onto the ball of your foot. Shoulders stay square, my back stays flat, so I don't let my lower back round. How low can I lower the weight but still keep my chest up? Once I'm done, I lower that weight down. One more set to go, guys. 25 seconds away. Good, catch your breath. One more set. 10 seconds away. So our stance is hip width. I'm in my split position, I pick that weight up. All my toes are pointing forward, slight bend in the front knee, weight over the front leg, and away we go. So you'll see, I'm not letting the weight pull me around. I'm keeping my hips flat and square, my shoulders flat and square. I'm controlling the lower, and then I stand, squeezing the hips, driving forward. But I want to stand tall, not finish here. tall. So my hips go back and forwards, the weight's always over my front leg. Once I'm done, lower that weight to the floor. And then we're going to switch legs for the final exercise. Final 3 sets, 3 minutes of work to go. So remember, we're switching, which is the front leg now. The weight switches hands into the opposite hand of the front leg. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So I'm up on the ball of my foot. Here. Standing tall and squeezing. Weight's always over the front leg. Once you finish your 10 reps, you can lower that weight down. 2 to go, guys. 10 reps left. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. "20 seconds. So remember, everything needs to be balanced and controlled. No bouncing through this. Don't rush it. We want good length and tension in the hamstrings. 10 seconds to go. So I've got my split stance. I pick that weight up. I'm standing tall. 3, 2, 1. Away we go. When I hinge over, the weight's dropping down towards where my back foot would be if I was standing normally. My back stays flat all the time. Core stays tight. I don't let my rib cage flare and open. So I'm controlling everything that's going on here. Pelvis stays nice and flat. Once I'm done, I can lower that weight to the floor. 1 more to go. 1 more. Thank goodness. So a lot of lower body volume for a Monday. I definitely wore the wrong t-shirt this morning. I am sweating. That's all right though. It's good to get a workout in the morning. Start the day and the week the right way. 10 seconds. Last set. So remember, my split stance is hip width apart. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. And I lower and up and squeeze. So the knee angle shouldn't change. Okay, so I don't need to extend through the knee. And I stand, just squeezing that glute to help me stand. Almost there, guys. Notice I'm not rushing these reps. I don't need to get 10 done in that time. Once we're finished, you can lower that weight down and get it out of the way. Whew. Awesome job, guys. Quick little bit of hip TLC to finish. I'll put my cushions back neatly. That's my wife will shout at me. All right. So we're just going to do a little couch stretch to finish. I might actually use a pillow. Put that down on the floor to soften what I'm going to try and do. So there's 2 options with this. Okay. Grab a little drink and then we'll just go through it. One side each side. Okie dokie, here we go. So couch stretch, it's because we use the couch. Okay, we're going to come down and we're going to put our knee as close to the bottom of the sofa as possible with our foot up on the sofa. And then the other foot's going to be out in front. Now, this might be as much as I can tolerate. Okay, I got a few options from here. I can either let the weight go forwards to get some load across the front of the hip, or I can take my hip back towards my heel. I can try and come upright and I'll load through the quad here. Okay, I can support at any point to take some weight off. But I can also squeeze the glute here to create more of a stretch. You'll notice, guys, I'm relaxed and I'm talking all the time. I'm not allowing my posture to change. I'm not gritting my teeth. So wherever you feel is your point of not being able to go any further, just back off a little bit from that point. Okay, if you've got super good hips, then you'll be all the way back in. You might even be able to bring your hands up over your head. Now, with my foot in this position, hooked over the top of the sofa, I'm pretty comfortable, okay? You'll notice that I'm not quite at a completely vertical shin, okay? If I did this up against the wall, I'd get my knee all the way back into the wall and my shin would be vertical and I wouldn't be in this very upright position. Good. Take your time, come on out of that, and then we're going to switch sides. So I put my foot up first, find how to get my knee, my bottom of my knee right into that position, slide that foot forwards. And again, this might be all you've got here. Okay, you might just be able to play around with pushing back a little bit or letting that hip drop out. You may find that you can start to raise that body up. At no point should you be past the point where you need to hold your breath. Okay, and nice and relaxed all the time. Contrary to what people think, guys, about static stretching, okay, number one, it is useful for various things, but you don't have to go to the point where you feel like you're going to tear the muscle off the bone. All right, I'm nice and relaxed here. I've got a 5 or 6 kind of sensation out of 10, and I'm just comfortably letting this structure's lengthen and accept that length. All right, and I'm getting good quad and hip flexor here because my hip is extended and my knee is deep flexed. Good, nice and slowly work your way out of that. And we are done. Awesome start to the week, guys.